OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Act, was 1970. This is about the safety in the workplace. It's the responsibility of employees and employers. Employees must tell you if your workplace is unsafe. If they are tripping over things or see something, they need to tell you because you're not in every location of your organization. Employers need to make sure their place of work is safe. Some of the things, now every business is different, every industry is different, but everybody has to have some basic ergonomic equipment to prevent those repetitive motion kinds of injury. A lot of people with the computer, if you're at the computer all day, if you don't have it set up right, and please tell your young people, just because they are so healthy at the moment, they can't sit at the computer like this and read the screen like that. As much as it's not going to bother them when they're 20, it is going to bother them when they're 30, 40, 50. Don't let them do that. Make sure they're sitting at their computer straight on and have the right angles, have the proper seats, have something to do that. It's just amazing to me how many of the young people, and then of course you've got lots of people with the laptops, and you know, they're over here and over here. It's going to get to them eventually. They think they're never going to hurt anywhere. Workplace violence is also a big threat of all organizations. We have seen shootings in schools and places of work and those kinds of things. So it is the employer's job to make sure that they've thought about those types of things. Of course, you can never stop everything, but you should have systems set up for workplace violence. When I do my sexual harassment prevention training, I include workplace violence and anti-harassment of all kinds, because sexual harassment can become sexual assault, which is a workplace violence. And that anger of someone talking about this person or that person can become a workplace violence. I'm going to come back and kill you type of comment. Any employer, any employee hears those things, you need to train them. If they hear them, tell us. It's like at the airports, you see something, say something. Because that's the only way that we're going to catch those kinds of things. So you want to set up those kinds of systems to make sure. Now, if you have chemicals in your workplace, there are definitely some places that have that. Even cleaning chemicals. They have an MSD sheet, which is Material Safety Data Sheet, and you're required by OSHA to keep track of those, make sure everybody knows where they are. So if someone gets one of those chemicals in their eyes or gets it on their skin, it tells them what to do and who to call and what to put on it. Some things you just wash it out with water. Other things you call 911 and it tells you what to do. If you have more than 11 employees, OSHA requires you to keep track of your records of all your accidents. So you have to send a report in to OSHA. If an employee gets hurt at your location during work hours, or even driving for you, then they're entitled to workers' compensation. Every employer must, if they have employees, must have workers' comp insurance, and every state handles it differently. I was so surprised when I met Kyle and he told me how long it took in Kentucky to get your first check. It's like 2 weeks, 10 days or something?
10 days work off.
Off. Yeah. So in Connecticut, where I was before, after 3 days, as long as they haven't denied it, you start getting paid. Now, there are some union contracts that will set up a system. My guess is that places like Ford, where there could be lots of accidents, or GE and they have unions, they have a union contract that says, we'll pay you until they say it's not, and then we'll take the money back from you. So you could have that situation, and you can also do that as an employer, but it's expensive to do that because your workers' comp insurance not paying you. And those employees will use an attorney. You should also have an attorney through your insurance company to help you figure out what is happening with workers' comp. And the best thing also is to keep track of it so that you get your employees back. There's things called light duty, return to work programs that will help you. And some of the larger companies, which might be your case, it have a location. If you go to this location, and those are specialists in work injuries, so that they can tell the employee, what's going on. Keep that information to the employer so that they know they're going to be out for 2 weeks. And again, we talked about ADA accommodations. You can make accommodations for someone who is on workers' comp. So if they have a job that includes driving and lifting, but the doctor says they can't lift, but they can drive, put them in the truck all day. And they're still working for you full time. So you haven't lost that time.